Hi guys, I'm going to be colouring up this cute little image called DeeDee from Lynn from the book Enchanted Faces, Mermaids, Fairies and Fantasy, pocket-sized edition. Hi guys, I was testing some paper a little while ago. I posted up the image on the left there in my group with an image of the paper that I was actually using, and I decided to do the other image on here today for you. So I'm going to use very similar colors that I've used in the left side. Started here using Y02, and I'm just going over all of the areas that are going to have that bright yellow in it at the moment. So I'm actually using Canson Marker Illustration Pad 250 GSM. I couldn't find it anywhere in America, so I actually got this from an art shop here in Australia, actually the art shop. So yeah, I couldn't find it anywhere else. But it actually is really good. I quite like this. I am actually going to try another one in the future as well. I think actually this is actually nicer than Express It. It seemed to lay down the colour more. I don't know if it's a little bit duller than the Express It, so because I'm using not really hugely bright colours anyway, I won't really be able to tell until I try that. The yellows came out quite bright and I quite liked it, so that's what I'm doing. So I've just gone over the skin there. The first layer I went over with E000. I'm coming in now with YR000 and going over that area again. So I actually did have some problems with my marker during the recording of this one. The marker tip of this YR000 actually broke. So I'm not sure how that happened, but the tip kept coming off. So I actually had to replace the tip halfway through. I'm coming in now with RV00 at the moment and just going into the shadow areas with this and putting some nice pink cheeks in there for her. So anyway, I didn't have a spare marker nib because I actually recently just changed all my skin color markers because I use them all the time. So I'd used up all my spare nibs, so I actually had to use one off a marker, a dead marker. And it still had a little bit of the colour in it, so the colour actually came out a little bit darker than what it will for you, because obviously mine was slightly different in colour. In the end it ended up coming out fine. The colour was fine, and as you can see from the first and the last picture there, that it was fine anyway. So I just came in with some BV40 and went over the top of that RV00, and now I'm blending that out. Actually, then I added some YR00, and now I'm blending that out with the YR000. So I've just got some nice shadow areas starting to happen there. I'm just coming in again with that YR000, but as you can see, it was a little bit darker because there was still a slight tinge of the previous marker color in that marker nib, but it still came out fine. I'm still quite happy with that. Anyway, I'm using BV40 now and going in and just increasing those shadow areas and blending it out with some E000, sorry. The reason that I came in with both colors is because the YR000 is quite orange, and I wanted to put a little bit of the earth tone back in to sort of take that off a little bit. I've used some Y00 just in some of the shadow areas to create some little yellow highlights, because she's going to have all the yellow flowers and that around her. I've added that in. So I've got some V01, and I'm just going in and deepening up those shadow areas again. I want them to sort of stand out a little bit more because she's fairly curled over and leaning in towards those flowers. I've got Y02, and I'm going in and brightening up those yellow highlights, and then I'm blending it all out with E000. So once I've played around with the skin and gotten the colour that I wanted, I moved on then to the hair. So I've already covered a coating of Y02 through the hair, and now I'm going to bring in some purple markers. I wanted the yellow to be a highlight colour in the hair, so that's why I've laid that layer down first. So I've got V09, and I'm coming in and just lining in all of the shadow areas and doing little flicks out from those areas in towards the highlighted area that I've marked in already. So I'm just doing that all over the hair then. So I will go into a little bit more detail in how to do the hair and the skin details and things like that a little bit more in the extended video, which is available on Patreon. So all of the links that I do mention, or all of the things that I talk about today, will be in the links below. So make sure you have a read of that description underneath this video. So I'm still coming in and lining out all of those shadow areas at the moment. If you would like to do a more intensive class, so something that does multiple types of hair, goes through lots of different colors and things like that, there are lots of online classes. One of them in particular is Kit and Clowder. So if you do decide to go up and sign up for a class over there, please let Elise know that I did send you as well. So I'm finished with that V09 and I'm coming in with V17, and I'm just bringing this a little bit further out towards those highlighted areas again. So we wanted to try and create some individual strokes through the hair to have it look like individual hair strands, but obviously because it's such a dark color, you're going to have a lot of blend in and bleed in anyway, so don't stress too much about it. It's just using those little flicks does help with the texture through the hair. I've brought in and swapped out that V17 for V15 now, and I'm coming into that a little bit further now. Now I'm going to go over that with a very light color. Actually, it's not very light, but it's a brighter purple color, which was V04, and I'm just going to go in and go a little bit closer to the highlighted areas and almost over them in some instances, and put this color through. So it's actually a lot more pink, and it really goes well with the yellow. It seems to turn a little bit pinker as it comes over the yellow areas as well, which gives it lots of different tones and colors through, like hair would actually have if you were sitting in the sunlight. So it's not all one color, you'll have lots of different reflections coming through there. So now I'm just deepening up the yellow and going over the entire area. So everything that I've already done with the purple, I'm going over all of that with Y02 just to brighten up those highlight areas. So usually once I do finish the hair, I'll notice that the skin, if it's a good color, then I'll be happy with the combination of both the hair and the skin. So in this instance, I thought that it needed a little bit more yellow through it. So I've come in with Y02, and I've just come in and gone over those shadow areas a little bit, and also put in some like eyeshadow and things like that. I really do think that it helped to make the picture, and I quite like having that in there because she's got those beautiful big sunflowers around her. It really does make sense to do something like that. So I've just redone the middle of those flowers there just to deepen them up a little bit while I had that color out, and I'm going in with YR000 and I'm just blending that out now. So now I'm just going to soften that off with YR000. And I'm just going over the whole area. There was a few streaks in the middle of the forehead there. I'm not sure if this is just the paper or if it was just because I used that strange marker earlier, but I'll come back in and fix that up. So I've got Y17, and I'm going in and I'm actually covering all of the lines on her top with this color. I'm not going to worry about doing any shading there. I'm coming into the middle of the flowers now, and I'm just putting like a stippling effect around the outside and also around the outside of the small circle in the middle. So I'm coming in with the YR16 and doing the same thing. So I'm just putting little dots all around the outside and also on the outside of the inner circle there as well. So I've still got the Y16, and I'm coming in and I'm going to line all of these little I guess creases in the flower around the outside. So we're going to use a couple of colors here. We're going to try and create a little bit of depth through those. And we want some nice color variances and things like that through it as well. So I'm just going in and doing that now, and I'm making sure that I also put this around and behind where any of the petals are overlapping each other as well. So as I'm recording the voiceover for this one, I've actually just reached over 500 subscribers on YouTube. So I just wanted to say thank you so much to everyone for your support and enthusiasm in doing these tutorials. And I just love the fact that it's taken off so well, and that you guys are getting so much out of the tutorials. I have heard lots of people say that there's not a lot of marker tutorials. I have found a few in my journeys over the last few months, and a couple of them I'm actually taking. So I'm going to do a review on those once I finished. I do anticipate one of them taking me at least 6 months to finish, so hopefully I'm still here and going ahead by then. But a couple of the others I'm nearly finished, so I'll be able to show you a couple of things from that and let you know where you can access those classes. So look, I'm just using some colors now to come over the top of that YR16. I've got Y17 and I'm just bringing it in over the top of the previous color, and I'm extending and making those lines a bit thicker to bring that color all over the flower. So I'm going to use some Y02 again, and I'm going to come over all of those areas and fill those lighter areas in now with that color. So after finishing off the flowers, I wanted those inner parts to look a little bit more deeper, and also for it to look a little bit rounder, I guess, on the top of it. So I'm going to bring in some E25, and I'm going to do the same thing that I did around the circle as I did earlier. So I'm going to use some little dots around there. I'm also going to try and fill in some area or shadow area where the flower comes in and meets the middle part as well. So I'm going to deepen that up and put a bit more shadow into those areas. So you can see that I'm now marking around those areas. I also did the inner circle a bit as well. I still use some dots through there to get that depth and to show the texture through the middle of the flower as well. But it definitely does make it look more deeper in towards the middle of the flower, and it also makes it look a little bit more rounder as well. So I'm coming in and I'm going to redo the colors that I've done previously, because I want to really make these nice and deep and give them lots of character and things like that. So I want to go in again with a second layer just to do that, and that was my cup of tea, and it was really good, by the way. So I'm just coming in now and I'm going to do some of the wings. I didn't actually go into all of the petals then, but I would definitely go in and put another layer in. So I've got some RV00 and I went over the top parts of the wings, and I'm using the BV40 to go on the lines and on the bottom parts of the lines, and then I filled in the rest of the area in between with Y00. I'm just deepening it up again now, so I've got RV00 I'm using on the tops of each of those lines, and then the BV40 I'm doing on the bottom of each of the lines, and then I'm coming in the middle with that Y00. So we're going to actually add some more colour through that because it's going to include the background as well, but we'll do that in a sec. I'm going to come into the clothes and use the similar colours that we've used in the hair, so I am going to use the yellow and the purples again. So I've got V17, V15 and V04. But I'm going to make sure I leave a little bit of highlight on each of those sections, and I'm going to bring that Y02 back in and put that colour on the tips of each of those pieces of clothing. So I've created some nice depth and wrinkles in there by using the darker colour in the creased areas and then extending those out towards the lighter colour. So now I'm coming over it with that Y02 and just putting that little highlight on each of those. I missed a little bit on the shoulder there, so I'm just going to go back in. So I was using V17, V15 and then V04, and then I've got that Y02. So we're almost done now. I've just got the leaves and the background parts to do. I'm going to use just some nice bright yellow, probably Y17 on those little bumblebees. I'm not going to put too much detail or effort into those. So I'm going to do the background now. I'm going to use some R20, which is a pink colour, and I'm going to come in and just go around all of these areas. And I've missed the wing areas there. I'm going to come over the top of that with some V01 because I wanted a purpley pink colour. So I've just gone over that, and I'm just making sure I'm lining all of the borders and things with that as well. So that was V01. Now I've gone over the whole area on the wings with that as well, and I'm going to go back in a little bit and deepen some of the colour up through those. So I'm just lightening off that colour a bit through the wings with the colourless blender. Going to do the lips now, so I've got some R05 and I'm going to blend that out with R22, and then I've finalized that one off there with the V01. Just gone over some of the shadow areas with that V01 again, and I'm deepening up the cheeks now with the R20 just to get a little bit more a brightness out of those cheeks. Now I've brought in a little bit of blue here. I've got B40 and I'm just coming into some of the shadow areas and lining that in. I'm going to use some YR000 through the entire area again. As I said, yours probably won't come out as dark because this marker was still coming through darker than it normally would. So I'm just fixing up that middle part there, where in the middle of the forehead there where I felt that it was a little bit uneven. I've used some E000 for this, which has come out a lot better now. Once that dries off a little bit, the colour will lighten as well. So I've got the eyes to do now and the leaves. So I'm coming in with G02 and I'm filling out all of the colour in each of those areas. So I've done the whole eyes and the whole leaves. I just missed a little bit of wing and between the background there, so I'm doing that. Now I've got some V01 to put some of the colours that were in the background into the leaves as well. Just going over those. I got some G14. I'm coming in to put in shadow areas and the veins of these pieces of leaf or grass that's here. And I've also put that in the top level of the eyes, and I've blended it back out again with that G02. So they're fairly simple, but they're still quite effective. Now I'm just going to deepen up some colour through the wings here. I'm going to put a little bit of green through as well because there'll be a little bit of a reflection from the grass on those as well. So we're coming up to the end now, and I'm just going to line in all of the white highlights with my white opaque watercolor. Sorry, I just had a moment of I don't know, mind blank. So I'm using Art Spectrum brand. I have put another brand in there that you can get off Amazon as well, which is in the description below. So I'm just coming in and putting in some pretty highlights into the eyes. I also realized that I'd gone over the whites of the eyes with the skin color, so I've just brought in the white the white paint and just stuck that around the outside of the eyes there as well. So I've just put a couple of dots on some places, made some things look shiny, put a little bit on the wings, and also put some white dots through the middle of the flowers. So guys, that's everything for this one today. I really do hope that you enjoyed it. Also remember, if you do want to have a little bit more detail and you want that video to go a little bit slower, I do have the extended version available on Patreon very soon. So guys, thanks so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed, please do so, and I will see you all next time.